All right. Hello and welcome everyone to Politically Unhinged. As always, I am your host, Unhinged Tony. We are getting ready to and waiting for our co-host to arrive for the evening still. So it's just a matter of time until he shows up. But let's go ahead and dive into the topic right now. So what we are discussing today is why fascism fucking sucks. Fascism is a completely utter disdain for the conservative movement. It is fucking bullshit. And quite frankly, Nick Fuentes, the supporter of fascism, is a fucking bitch boy. All right? Nick Fuentes and the bitch boys are all what's wrong with the conservative movement. And we're going to go ahead and dissect why that is. Now let's go ahead and talk about Nick Fuentes. So Nick Fuentes, as you guys know, is the guy that has filled the hole since Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Now the only reason why he did is that he is a fucking grifter. Nick Fuentes is a grifter and does not know anything or supports anything from what he fucking talks about. Nick Fuentes is a little fucking bitch and he will not debate me. Come on, Nick. Let's get you to fucking debate me right here, right now. Let's get you to debate me. I will travel to you, or you could travel towards me. I will debate you, and I will beat you the fuck up in a way that you do not like. I'm not talking about that kinky bullshit that you do with Destiny whatsoever. All right, so the reason why fascism is not an actual conservative ideal or movement is because fascism is complete, utter disdain for the actual conservative movement. Now, fascism is where you go ahead and salute your allegiance to the state. Are you kidding me? You can't be a fascist and be conservative. They are oxymorons of each other. Being a fascist and being a conservative is like being a Democrat and being a constitutionalist. It doesn't work. This isn't how this stuff works, people. We're not going to go ahead and we're going to sit here and idly buy and support this shit. Now, if we're going to go ahead and we're talking about this stuff, it's just, why are we doing it? But this is all, quite frankly, bullshit. What's coming from the Nick Fuentes bitch boys and the left. Nick Fuentes is what I say is an op of the Democratic Party. Nick Fuentes goes ahead and spouts all this bullshit to where it's all disdain to the movement. Who is Nick Fuentes? Glad you asked, Scooter. So Nick Fuentes is a person that has filled the hole where Charlie Kirk has left off at, that a lot of young conservatives are going ahead and following him. Nick Fuentes is a fascist, anti-Semitic, racist fuck. A lot of young men have followed him because they think he's quote-unquote funny, but Nick Fuentes isn't funny. Nick Fuentes is someone that is entirely wrong with the conservative movement. The conservative movement that we had with Charlie Kirk was one of unity, not one of division. The conservative movement now has honestly became division. That's just how it is. And the thing is that when we're going ahead and we're talking about Nick Fuentes, division is the only way we can describe him. Nick Fuentes goes ahead and divides everyone. He does not unite. Nick Fuentes is a divider. He is someone that rather go ahead and spout the funny meme, quote unquote, rather than going ahead and having a logical discussion. He had an interview recently with Tucker Carlson where Tucker did not go ahead and ask him any questions that were actually, questions. Instead, what he was doing is that he was going to go ahead and, give him softballs. He was softballing him the entire time. And the thing is, with Nick Fuentes, if you softball him, he's going to like it no matter what. The thing is John, Nick Fuentes is not highlighting the wrongs of our party. He's not. Instead, he's being a racist fuck. That's all that he's being. Now, if Nick Fuentes was going ahead and criticizing the Republican Party in a just way, that's different. I criticize the Republican Party in a just way. I do not go ahead and say, hey, you shouldn't vote for someone just based on the color of their fucking skin. That's what Nick Fuentes does. That's what he does. That is exactly who he is. But we aren't going to go ahead and sit idly by. It's not racist to send it's not racist to send money to a foreign country. It's racist to go ahead and say that you should not vote for someone based on the color of their fucking skin. That is something that he's literally did. And no, he does not condemn racism, John. He does not. He idly goes ahead and says you should not go ahead and vote for that person just because they're Indian, just because they're black. He does not want people to go ahead and vote for Vivek Ramaswamy because of his race. John, that's literally what he fucking does. He judges people based on their race. I hope you know that. He does this every single time. But the thing is that when we're going ahead and we're talking about why fascism sucks, it's because it goes ahead, it drives more power to the executive branch, to the government. It is utter disdain for the freedoms of the people. This is not the freedoms. We are going to go ahead and we're going to go and beat the living shit out of this so-called conservative movement when fascism in itself is a left-wing ideology. Fascism is not the way. Nick Fuentes is not the way. This closeted homosexual is not the way. We are not going to go ahead and sit here idly by while we see this retard go ahead and spout falsities to people. I'm not going to have it. You're not going to have it. Nick Fuentes prides himself on fascism. He prides himself on race. He believes in supremacy. He has gone ahead and actually said that he wants a state where it's just white people. He is the problem. We need to go ahead and realize as conservatives, this is not the man that we want leading the charge. We had a man leading the charge that we actually needed that created unity in the party. And what they did is that they shot him. Instead of coming together saying that we are all Charlie Kirk, what we did is that we actually divided ourselves. We went ahead and we divided ourselves into the groypers, and we divided ourselves into people that are moderates. Right? We did not go ahead and come together like Charlie wanted. That what he actually wanted was us to come together. Instead, we did the exact opposite. Right. What we need to do is actually continue what Charlie Kirk stood for. Fascism is in itself is not what he stood for. We go ahead and we pride ourselves on what Charlie Kirk did. And yet we're going ahead and we're basically spitting on his grave. Letting someone like Nick Fuentes, who wants fascism, here. But y'all are just going to call me crazy for that. I'm not. Nick Fuentes needs to go. He goes ahead, he drives sexism, he drives racism every single time he speaks. He divides more people every single time. He goes ahead and he does not take accountability for himself. And that's something that fascists do. That's something that Democrats do. We need to go ahead and hold ourselves accountable. But Nick Fuentes does not do that. Fascists don't do that. Instead, what they want to do is that they want to bow down to the fucking state and have them tell us what to do. Because an allegiance to the state is what controls all of us. If we go ahead and we let the state control us, we have lost. There's nothing else we can do. And yet, what's the point? But this is it. Fuentes is not a freaking libertarian, John. Want to know how I know that? I'm a constitutionalist. He's not a libertarian. Sorry to break it to you. Nick Fuentes does not align with the libertarian principles. A libertarian is someone that has a lot more constitutional views than actual conservatives. And guess what? The Libertarian Party in itself now is complete bullshit. All right. We got our guest here. I'll be waiting until he gets himself ready and situated.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hey.
All right. Yeah, I like to show up fashionably late, so that's how it is.
Yep. Now, there's someone saying that Nick Fuentes is a libertarian on Instagram.
Who?
This guy called John.
Wait, like somebody's... Are you streaming on Instagram right now?
Yep. He's actually saying that Nick Fuentes is a libertarian.
No, that's not even remotely accurate. Nick Fuentes is not even remotely close to libertarianism, given the fact that, number one, Nick Fuentes is a self-proclaimed fascist. So, I mean, we can just start there, right? Like, he has openly stated that he is not only a fascist, but he's also a white supremacist. He also wants to repeal the 19th Amendment. All of these things inherently go against libertarianism, classical liberalism, neoliberalism. Like, these are all three things that fit into the same umbrella inherently go against what Nick Fuentes is claiming to believe in and agree with, right? Because, number one, repealing the 19th Amendment would get rid of women's right to vote. That is something that inherently goes against classical liberalism and libertarianism, because the idea is that everybody can do and say and be whatever they want as long as they're not infringing upon the rights of somebody else.
Yep.
Nick Fuentes is also a white supremacist. White supremacists believe that white people are superior. Libertarianism, on the other hand, does not recognize that. Libertarianism recognizes that every single person is created equally and that they all have, again, their own individual rights and freedoms. Nick Fuentes is also a fascist. Fascism is quite literally the creation of an all-knowing, all-seeing, all-controlling government in which people no longer have any level of individuality, and that their identity and their purpose is purely for the betterment of the state. Libertarianism, again, goes completely against that due to the fact that not only does libertarianism call for the smallest amount of government possible without harming or impeding the necessary functions of a governing body, but also on top of that, again, libertarianism is all about individual rights and individual determination, things that Nick Fuentes vehemently opposes.
Correct.
So I'm not sure what this guy thinks he knows about libertarianism, but he should probably go pick up a book.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, actual libertarianism is where, it's basically you and me, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like, we both took it the same fucking test, and it was scary how fucking similar we were. I'm gonna be honest. Not sure if you saw my results as well.
I don't think I saw your results.
Oh, dude, like they were literally just a few percentages in a different way from ourselves. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think I was a bit more. I think I'm probably a bit more radical than you are.
I believe we should own nukes.
Yeah, yeah. I also agree. I think that if you have the capital and the means of producing and creating and owning your own nuke, then you should have absolutely have the right to do so.
Oh yeah, like the government has it, so should you.
Yeah,
pretty simple. Yeah. All right, but let's go ahead and dive into the topic. Why fascism fucking sucks. I touched up on it a little bit, saying that how it's not an actual right-wing ideology, like actual libertarianism is. Instead of that, it's a left-wing ideology where it's an allegiance to the fucking state.
Well, I mean, I think the idea of it being a left wing is kind of iffy because you have the horseshoe logic and the horseshoe theory.
Yeah.
Right. So if you go far enough left, you're eventually going to be right. Just like if you go far enough right, you're eventually going to be left. Like ultimately, at the end of the day, there really isn't any such thing as left wing or right wing. That's why, for example, whenever I talk about people in terms of politics, I always use like the political compass, right? Because there's an up, there's a down, there's a left, and there's a right. You have your authoritarian and you have your libertarian. You have your communists, and then you have your laissez-faire anarcho-capitalists. So that's really the best way to look at it is a up, down, left, right sliding scale, with fascists being up on the authoritarian side and a little bit towards the left.
Yeah. No, definitely. And the thing is that like when they're going ahead and all of these Nick Fuentes bitch boys are touting this bullshit, saying like, "Oh, Nick Fuentes, we really need him," and all. Yeah, it's a detrimental to the movement.
Well, the crazy thing is, though, is that when it comes to fascism specifically, because a lot of people, especially fascists themselves. So I guess to start off with, we have to talk about proto-fascism. So proto-fascism is a term that you'll hear a lot of, the pseudo-intellectual Nick Fuentes buddies, that want to seem intellectual talk about. But in reality, proto-fascism is a very, very vague historian term that's typically used to talk about people that may have held ideas that created a foundation for Benito Mussolini's fascism. Or they may have been people that shared similar ideas to what we would label as fascism today, but were not necessarily fascist. And so we have to first break that down and talk about that, and then turn around and move into fascism. Because like when it comes to proto-fascism itself, like I said, it's mainly just a description of leaders that held similar ideologies. That's why, for example, that one guy that I ran out of the debate server the other night, he was trying to talk about how the Catholic Church supports fascism purely because of the fact that there were factions within the fascist party that believed that were Catholics, because with the PNF, right? So Benito Mussolini's party. Within the PNF, there was a lot of things. So to start off with, the PNF was not like this, unified party with all of these ideas and beliefs that were unified all at once that a lot of fascists will have you believe. Because at the time, really, it was Mussolini who had left the Socialist Party because he didn't like them, he didn't agree with them. And then there was other socialists as well who had an issue with the Socialist Party that joined him. But then on top of that, we also had many, many World War I veterans who had an issue with the current government. There were some radicals, there were some conservatives, there were people who had been shunned by the church or felt like the church wasn't doing enough. Like the fascist party at the time had a lot of differing opinions and views. And eventually over time, you saw people leave because they didn't agree with the way things were going. The other thing too, actually, funnily enough, is that in the case of the FNP, the PNF, in the case of the PNF, they actually didn't even put out like their official book on fascism. Like Benito Mussolini didn't actually put out and publish his book defining what fascism is and what fascism believes in until give or take like 10 years after he had already been in power. So this was 10 years after he had been elected, and then I think 7 years after the fascist party had actually taken over. That was when that was when he finally did actually release a book. But and it's interesting when you compare it to things like, for example, the Nazi Party with Mein Kampf, where the Nazi Party had actually already put out their book explaining who they are, what they are, and why they are before they had ever taken any form of political action or power. And so that in and of itself kind of goes to show just the idea that most fascists don't even understand fascism in and of itself because they don't even know the history of it. Especially because when you actually read Benito Mussolini's book as well, like he doesn't even appropriately define fascism. Like he never explains what the state is. He never explains any of those things. So in that aspect too, we have to deal with that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's something that both sides don't understand, in all honesty, is that we go ahead and we just like to point fingers at everyone, going ahead and saying like, "Oh, you're authoritarian, you're this, you're that," but it's a problem. To say it at the least, like.
Yeah, for sure. So, with that being said, obviously we do have to, at this point, figure out, okay, what are we going to do in terms of handling these kinds of people? Because ultimately, when we're looking at the way these people work, the way they think, how they operate, it ultimately just boils down to a bunch of idiots, a bunch of fucking retards that think that they know better. They think that they know everything. They're going to pontificate and extrapolate upon the idea of the meaning of a human being and how this works and, metaphysics this and, metaphysical that. And in reality, at the end of the day, like they don't even know what it is that they stand for. All they know is there's this Nick Fuentes guy that calls black people trash and thinks women belong in the kitchen barefoot, pregnant, and making dinner.
Yeah, and the thing is that like when we go ahead and we call out Nick Fuentes and all, when I'm calling him a fucking sexist and a fucking racist and a bigot, people get offended by it because they don't like hearing the fucking truth.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think it's necessarily that they don't like hearing the fucking truth. I think it's that they know the truth. However, they feel the necessity, they feel the need to defend that truth and defend themselves because it's kind of like the way I like to compare it is like to the Muslim practice of taqiyya, right? The Muslim practice of taqiyya, for those of you who are watching and may not know, is essentially a practice in Islam where you are allowed to lie about your faith. You are allowed to lie about the tenets of Islam and the Muslim faith, as long as it is in the interest of spreading Islam. And I think fascists operate in the same way. They think that they think that if they can lie to people enough and convince enough people to become fascist, because usually once you've already bought into that, at that point anything else that gets told to you by fascists about fascism, you kind of just go with at that point. You've already bought into it. And so at that point, it starts with, oh, no, we're not racists. We're not sexists. We don't want to take away your rights. No. We just want to stop women from being able to vote. No. We just want to get rid of all black people. No. We just think that guns only belong in the hands of the black shirts.
Yeah.
And by that point, you've already bought into it, and you've been so brainwashed that at that point, it doesn't matter. Like, I actually knew a guy that I used to work with who at one point was a Nazi. I I found this out because he's no longer a Nazi. He was a Nazi when he was a kid, and he fell for Nazism, for the neo-Nazi shit the same way that a lot of these fascists do. You know, they are typically people who are going through a really bad time in life. They get preyed upon by other guys who genuinely believe in these things, and they say, "Hey, here's the answer to all of your problems." And in the case of neo-Nazis, it's the Jews, it's black people, it's gay people, it's mixed race people, right? These are the answers to all of your problems. This is why you're going through a hard time right now. Come join us. We'll be here for you. We'll help you out. We'll get you situated. And all the while you're being helped out, you're being aided, you're being told that all of these problems that you're dealing with life are not your own. They're the cause of somebody else. And so by that point, you're so far in that you believe everything that's told to you. And I think fascism operates the same way. Like I said, with that guy that I ran out, I don't know if you've been told about this, and you know, our other mutual friend would probably be pissed if he hasn't told you about this if I say anything about it. But he started sending like messages to our mutual friend of like him literally like punching himself in the face and making his nose bleed, and talking about how like it's all everyone else's fault that he's doing this, how nobody's ever made him spiral like this before. Yeah. He was like punching himself in the face and making his nose bleed, sent photos of like blood dribbling from his nose and blood on his hands and stuff like that, and actively telling him about how, he's been punching himself in the face to make his nose bleed just for him to clean it up, and then when it stops, he punches himself in the face again so it bleeds some more, so he can feel something. And like that's a perfect example of the kind of person that actively believes in fascism but doesn't actually understand fascism. These are people that are so mentally messed up that, when somebody tells them that, oh, your life sucks and your life is horrible because of these other groups that have absolutely fucking nothing to do with your life, that is why.
That's fucking insane that he did that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Mind you, our mutual friend had nothing to do with him getting ran out. He ran himself out, essentially. He just couldn't handle debating me. He was not ready to handle the truth about fascism. He was not ready to actually have a genuine debate. He wanted to debate philosophy. I don't debate philosophy because there is no right or wrong, yes or no, up or down in philosophy. Philosophy is pondering theoreticals and what ifs.
Well, it's philosophy and theological bullshit. What it is that like you can't go ahead and have a right or wrong answer to it. There's no, because like if you and I were as you know my beliefs with religion, obviously. If you and I were to go ahead and debate religion, and let's say that we have a group of people that align with me and the group of people that align with you, they're already going to make up their decisions that they're going to align with you. The group of people that align with you are going to vote for you, and the people that align with me are going to align with me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why, I wouldn't debate him on it. And, once he realized that I wasn't going to fall for that line of debate, and I was sticking straight to the facts and the realities of the situation, he ran himself out.
No, I mean, the thing is that, like, we already told you, we were going to ban him because of everything that he was doing right there.
Yeah.
But
he showed himself the door because he couldn't handle me. And I think he was expecting to be invited back warmly like he was the first time that he fucking left. And unfortunately for him, he tangled with the wrong one at the wrong time.
No, the thing is that, like, if it wasn't going to be you, it was going to be me. That's the thing. Like, you and I, you and I, we've known each other for 2 years, year and a half by now? Roughly. Yeah. So, and the thing is that, like, if it's not you, it's me that's going to be saying the shit. Hell, I think you and I are both banned from debating on TikTok.
No, I can still debate on TikTok.
Oh, you lucky bastard! Dude, they fucking banned me after like the right and the left banned me after like my 5th debate.
Yeah, no, dude, I can still debate on TikTok. I mean, shit, I was one of the OGs on the original political TikTok back in fucking 2016.
Dude, like when I tell you, like literally like about a year ago, they all just got together and like banned me, saying like debates do not
That's
let me up.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
because
no,
like you've seen me debate too. Like I go ahead, I disprove them within a fucking paragraph, like you do,
yeah,
right? And then I will just let them ramble on for about 5 fucking minutes, and then I'll point out that they disproved themselves during it.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's why most it's not that I'm banned from debating; it's that most people won't debate me. That's why, and this is just a theory that I have. But like, for example, last night when there was that poll put out about about the freedom of exercise clause only applying to Christianity, like I was the first one to respond to that poll saying like, no, it does not only apply to Christianity.
Yeah. All right. So his shit just went down. We're going to go ahead and wait for him to get back up. So what he's talking about, like he said, is the clause for it. So there he is. All right.
My
There we go.
bad. We had some technical difficulties there.
All good.
But you know, I was the first one to respond to that poll saying, no, it doesn't only apply to Christianity, and yes, I debate it. And then normally, all of the other people that normally would be happy to debate it, all put no, yes, it only applies to Christianity, and no, I don't want to debate it.
Yep.
So all of the usual suspects that normally would want to debate it didn't want to debate it because I was the one saying yes, I would debate it. And everybody knows that people have been wanting me to get into another debate in our server for a while, but none of the usual suspects want to debate me anymore because I'm undefeated.
No, and the thing is that like people ask me to debate too. I'm all like, well, the thing is that one, I'm busy as shit running campaigns, right? Two, do you really want someone that literally coaches people for a living to debate?
Yeah.
Like, no. The thing is that like, let's say now a good debate would probably be you and I debating. Well, the problem is that you and I agree basically on everything unless it's like theological stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I don't do theological debates.
Neither do I. So
yeah, because it's like, you know, that one guy that was friends with the dude I ran out, he won't fucking debate me anymore. You know, Deutschland won't debate me. You know, fucking the other fascists in the server flat out avoid me in conversation in the server. Like nobody wants to debate me anymore. It's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm getting ready to just start fucking playing devil's advocate just so I can have more debates.
yeah, I mean, like that's what I do too. Is that I will play devil's advocate for people to go ahead and hone in their skills and all. But so like I was talking to not to not Ace of Cards, but the other Ace in the server, right? He
Yeah.
was just like, how do I go ahead and make myself better at debates today? I was like, well, first of all, I got to see you fucking debate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ace sucks at debating, so.
Yeah.
Like, I debated Ace and Steven's server. If that points anything out. Like,
yeah.
Ace isn't in Steven's server because I ran him the fuck out.
Yeah, like he was asking me, I was just like, dude, I can't give you any pointers unless I see you do it.
Yeah.
Like I've given, like you've seen me, I've given you a few pointers.
Yeah.
You've taken them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is I think the other issue too is that there's just so many people that they want to do debates, they want to do topics, but it's like they just don't know how to properly prepare. Like that one guy that I'm, as much as he denies it, I'm thoroughly convinced that during that time that we were debating, he was using ChatGPT. I'm thoroughly convinced that he was using ChatGPT, which is part of the reason why he fucking lost. You know, outside of the fact that his entire premise had like no basis in reality, but that's neither here nor there. You know, like we have guys like that that it's like they don't have the ability to appropriately prepare. Like they don't have actual, because like for me, for example, when I go into debates, I don't have notes. But that's also
Neither do I.
yeah, that like for me, that's mainly just because the fact that like I'm not going to debate something unless I fucking know that shit. You know, so it's like you're coming into a debate with a guy who's been studying the topic for weeks, months, days, and you've done maybe an hour worth of research. You might have a couple of pre-written rebuttals that you Googled online real quick to see what the most common arguments for and against are. But you don't have an actual appropriate understanding of the topic. So therefore now you're coming up against me and you've lost.
Yeah. And for all of you that are going to be calling us bullshit, all right, look, I manage campaigns. Colin here's getting ready to run for Congress, hopefully in the next few years. He and I have actually been talking behind the scenes about stuff for him. So, like, when I say that, like, Colin, when it comes to debate-wise, is the most prepared candidate that I've ever worked with, that's not a fucking joke.
Yeah, I just need the money.
Look, you get the money, you hire me. We got this thing one for you, okay?
Exactly. Give me 1 second here.
Yep. But no, so like I said, so Colin is the biggest person. Sorry, not the biggest person. He is unbelievable in debates. He's knows basically everything in whatever topic he's debating. Like he says, he goes ahead and he even challenges himself, playing devil's advocate. I've seen as well. Well, he's honestly, one of the best debaters that I've seen, and I'm happy to actually say that to him.
Yeah, like it's for me the where it all started really for me actually was back in like 2016, 2017, around the start of political TikTok.
Yeah.
Right. Like if Steven were here, Steven would tell you like Steven wouldn't have the TikTok career that he has now if it weren't for me.
All right. For all of you that don't know who Steven is, that is political education over on TikTok and Instagram. He's a friend of the show and has been on here before during the Trump versus Kamala Harris election when we were covering Georgia.
Yeah, great guy. You know, he's very, very up to date on a lot of the events that's going on. You know, he and I don't necessarily agree on everything politically either. But we have both mutually agreed that we're not going to debate each other unless it comes down to the campaign trail. Which then, in that case, I'm fully prepared to stomp him down in the mud. But
whoever pays me more is who I'll manage the campaign for.
I'd say honestly, he probably will need it more than me. But no, like I've been doing politics now, you know, both on and off, you know, social media for dude, almost like 7 years.
I was about to say you got more involved than I was. I'll say this: I was very vocal about my beliefs in high school and even middle school, but I didn't start actually getting really truly involved. I guess like you can say this 2020 a little bit because I went to the protests and all. Well, but I didn't I didn't help run my first campaign until 2022 at the age of 24.
Hold on, give me 1 second here.
Yeah. Yeah. So for all of you that are living in Texas, Colin's planning to run in Texas for you guys. We are making plans for a 2028 run, potentially, maybe 2030. It is all about getting the money ready. Yeah, I'm actually going to be talking to him about potential donors that I've had in previous campaigns to help him out. So if you guys have any questions about what is going on in campaigns, how to get fundraising, I am more than happy to help you guys. You guys can email me at politicallyunhinged@gmail.com. That is politicallyunhinged@gmail.com. You can also reach me at Anthony Rader, RADERGOP as in Peter, @gmail.com for those questions as well. But that email is mostly reserved for the campaigns that I'm currently working on, or campaigns that people want me to be working on.
Yeah, sorry about that. We're winding down for the night over at my house, and so,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, you got the fucking zoo animals, I know.
yeah. So it's like, we gotta get things done, stuff like that. So my wife occasionally needs help. I kind of forgot to tell her that I was doing a podcast episode tonight, so that was my fault. But yeah,
Doghouse for you, doghouse.
yeah, I know. Too bad the dogs live in the house, so you know. But
you're
no,
drinking a Dr. Pepper, not a beer this time. Okay.
Yeah, not this time.
Okay.
Um,
Now I feel bad taking an edible.
That's crazy. No, I gotta stay sharp. But no, Bandit. Jesus, fucking Kara. Women. So words. Sorry, I lost my fucking train of thought here. Having to. Okay, so yeah, campaign trail. Yeah, so my plans, they're kind of here and there right now, mainly just because of the fact that I am going back into the military. I am re-enlisting, so my political plans may be postponed for a little while. If anything, because originally my plan was that I was going to try and get donors and stuff like that to start running for office in either 2028 or 2030. But but then with me enlisting in the military, stuff like that, that's probably not going to happen. It really just kind of depends on where my military careers are at that point. If anything, I may wind up running in 2032 or 2034.
Yeah, I mean, I need to give you my number. We've known each other for like a year and a half now. I still haven't given you my number. I'll message you that later. So, I mean, I manage campaigns for a living, so it's what I do. So, I want to talk about the campaign I'm managing right now here in Maryland. Lieutenant Colonel Bernie Flowers.
Okay.
So we're right now, what we're rated as is a D plus 12 district. I'm going to tell you right now, we're probably going to be flipping that seat.
Yeah.
So just get ready.
Well, I'll be sure to pay attention to that so I can actually, get an idea for what your work may or may not look like. But
well, right now it's purely volunteer, just because he's a good friend of mine. So
yeah. Well, so the issue that I'm going to run into is my district is a Republican district. So not only is because I'm going to wind up running with the Republican Party because at the end of the day,
you got to get past the primary.
Yeah,
that's your problem.
Yeah, I have to be able to get past the primary, and so that's the hard part that's going to come for me because number one, the guy that I'm going to be running against, let's say if he does continue on and he's still the incumbent by the time I finally get my shit together and actually run, that's going to be the hard part is getting past him because I think incumbents have something like a 70 or 80% re-election rate. So
correct.
When you've got the new guy on the field who is radically more on that libertarian side, but he's running for the Republican Party, at that point I'm going to have to rely on the fact that I am younger and I'm going to have to really really play into the younger side of my constituents in order to try and win that primary election. And that's going to be really, really tough. Because, honestly, our guy is good. Fucking Babin is my guy. And he would be the one that I most likely would wind up running against when I do run.
All right, so I want to give free political advice right here for everyone right now, all right? Talk to your local Republican parties. Whether it's state, county, city, talk to them. We legally cannot endorse candidates.
Okay. So that'll be interesting to do then. Because, like I said, the hard part is mainly just getting past that. If I can get past that, shake a few hands, then I should be good. That's part of the other reason why it is that I'm going back into the military, is because I feel like if I have a few more years added onto my resume and a few more accolades, may look a little bit better, especially among Texas residents.
No, it will. It will. In Texas, it's going to help you actually quite a bit. Going ahead and saying that you're a veteran and everything too, that you're fighting for everyone else's rights.
Yeah.
You're on the western side, if I remember correctly.
Correct. I'm in
Yeah.
Harris County.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
on. Well, so that's the eastern side. Sorry, not the. So I'm on the eastern side of Texas. Like I'm closer to the Louisiana border. So that's a huge veteran population.
Yeah.
And like I'm already a veteran, so it's like I already have that going for me. But the problem is that a lot of the other candidates that I see, they've got a lot more military time on me. You know, I mean, there are guys that like are, 15, 20-year veterans that I'm going against versus, my singular contract's worth of time. And that's where I think I need a little bit more on the resume. I need a few more awards, a few more ranks, so that way then I can turn around and be like, oh yeah, sure, they did too, but so did I. Now what? Now it comes down to policy.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know is that how your politics works in different areas is completely different. So in Colin's case, him having more accolades in the military is going to help him win that district or win that nomination, I should say. Versus if you're someone running in, let's say, Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
In Arkansas, if you're a regular Joe, that's going to help you out more.
Yep. And so it's all about knowing your constituents. If you know that the population of the district that you're going to be running in is going to be, more focused on one thing versus another, then that's what you want to make yourself out to be. That's what you want to have. So in my area, I know that there's a large veteran population here. I know that generally speaking, if you're a veteran, the veterans are going to want to vote for you. And then the people who support veterans are also going to want to vote for you in that same vote. And so then at that point, that's where that's gonna come down to like, okay, cool. I'm in a lineup of 10 veterans. What about my service and me as a person in general puts me head and shoulders above these other guys to get me that nomination? So that way then I can turn around and go run up against whoever's on the Democrat ballot and then, stomp them into the ground on the debate floor to win the election.
Well, I mean, even where you are at on the Louisiana border, you don't even have to stomp their face in, really.
I believe in absolute victory.
Yeah.
No wars have ever been won on a tentative victory. There's always been an absolute.
Fair enough. But I mean, people are asking, where does this come into the topic of the podcast? Fascists literally don't fucking think this way.
Yeah, fascists believe in the idea of might is right, and the people should be all for the state. Correct. So when it comes to that aspect of it, that's where the difference comes in. Because under a fascist regime, your leader doesn't care about who you are, and the people are not the people don't necessarily get a choice. It's quite literally might is right. I mean, that's how Mussolini took power with the black shirts. These were street gangs that went around and beat the shit out of naysayers. These were people that went around and forced the support of the state. If you were a dissenter, if you were somebody who disagreed with the state, then all Mussolini had to do was say, "Hey, that guy right there, go fucking break his leg." He can't be complaining about the state if he's complaining about the pain in his leg.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes in. Like people like Nick Fuentes, they're starting off with the idea of like, oh, free speech, right? These fascist believers currently, they're starting off with that idea of like, oh, I just want to have a conversation. I just want to have a talk about ideas. I just want to explain to you my philosophy. and then they'll hit you with those sweet words and those ideas, and the state, think of the state, the people, rah, and then they're gonna rope you in, and then they'll take power, and when they take power, they will never relinquish it again.
Yep. No, and the thing is that like you've heard me multiple times challenge Nick Fuentes. Now,
Yeah.
Over what it was a week since I termed the phrase Nick Fuentes bitch boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, like this person, as I don't care if he's 5'5", he needs to get taken down 1.5 feet.
Knock him down to 3 foot.
Might as well. I mean, he likes
2.5 feet.
Well, here's the thing. He likes 3.5 feet, 3 foot. He likes being that tall too, anyway, so he can suck Destiny's dick. So
that's the thing is like I personally, for me, I'm not convinced that's Nick Fuentes in that video. But
I'm 100% convinced.
I mean, like I know that he admitted to being gay or having particular proclivities of the homosexual nature. But like even still, I'm not convinced that that's Nick Fuentes in that photo, purely because of the fact that it's Destiny. Like that's my only thing. It's like just because it's Destiny, I don't think it's Nick Fuentes. Like now, if there were other people in Destiny's circle that were going around saying like, yeah, nah, that's Nick Fuentes in that video, then I would believe it. But it's just like the situation with the Hassan accusation, where Destiny, made that claim that Hassan fucked a 15-year-old girl in Amsterdam. Again, until I hear other people from the circle openly coming out and saying like, yeah, nah, Hassan like fucked a 15-year-old in Amsterdam, I'm not going to believe it. Because it wouldn't be the first time that Destiny has openly and blatantly and willingly lied about somebody, even to go so far as fabricating evidence in order to make somebody look bad because they pissed them off.
I mean, that's true. I mean, the thing is that like with Nick Fuentes, it just wouldn't fucking surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me coming from Nick Fuentes if Nick Fuentes were to openly admit that he fucking did it. But again, it's Destiny, so I remain skeptical. Because, like, I wound up looking it up, trying to fucking figure out what the fuck y'all were talking about when y'all told me about that. Because, like, I had remembered it circulating the internet, a while back. But, like, from what I remembered, like, the identity of the man had still been, anonymous. And so, like, when I actually looked at the photo and stuff like that, I'm like, I could see how some people would say that's Nick Fuentes. But, like, the photo's grainy enough to where it's like, might not be, could just be another, short, skinny yet stocky white dude with a fucking crew cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, you know what? Just because we're on a topic relatively like this, all right. The left usually can't fucking meme, like at all. I think you already know where I'm going with this.
Oh Lord, here we go.
The Bill Clinton, Donald Trump stuff.
Okay, so with the Bill
I find
Clinton
that shit fucking hilarious. Not sure what you think.
For me, it just annoys me purely because of the fact that when it comes to the Epstein files, right?
Yeah.
Like, out of all the information that came out of those fucking files.
Oh, they just went like, you know what, Donald Trump sucked off Bubba.
Yeah, like out of all of the things that they could have taken from those files, out of all of the information, the names, the victims, that's what they saw. That's what they care about. They care about the potentiality of Donald Trump having sucked dick. They don't care about the fact that there are multiple people who were named in these emails and files as having been perpetrators of rape, of having been perpetrators of child sex trafficking. They don't give a fuck about any of that. No, they just give a fuck about the fact that Donald Trump may or may not have sucked dick. However, personally, I hope it's true. I hope it's true. And the reason why I hope it's true is because then Democrats will have to shut the fuck up. Because if they continue, that would mean that they are actively prosecuting a gay man.
So even if it's not true, I just want Trump to go ahead and go like, you know what? I suck dick.
You know what? I sucked dick. I went all the way down the shaft. It was probably the longest shaft anybody's ever had. I personally think I have great game, real good head game, possibly the best head game anyone's ever seen, even better than Stormy Daniels.
I see why Hillary's such a bitch now when she's not getting it. I see.
The reason why Bill cheated on Hillary with Monica Lewinsky was because I gave him head and he was chasing that high afterwards.
Could you imagine if he actually came out and said that for like a fucking presser?
That would be
I would pay.
absolutely.
I would pay money to see that.
Yeah, like I genuinely hope it's fucking true, because then at that point, Democrats will be forced to shut the fuck up about it, because otherwise they will be openly making fun of a gay man, which would make them homophobic. Also, on top of that, I would love to see the absolute seething rage and the cope coming from Democrats having to realize that the man that they hate so much is the first openly gay president in American history.
Barack Obama exists.
Like, that would be great.
Barack Obama exists. Just keep that in mind.
No, yeah. I mean, there's no such thing as chicks with dicks, only guys with tits. So, sorry, Michael. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, no, like, personally for me, I just find it interesting that that's what they chose to focus on, and not like the million other things. Not to mention the fact, I mean, when we look at the votes recently from the House, that 475-1, what's that one guy that voted no doing? What is up with that guy? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Out of the 476 people in the House, the one guy who didn't vote yes.
Well, we did post it in the server, so let me see if I can find it.
Like, I think he abstained from voting, I think is what it was.
No, he actually voted no.
Oh, he voted no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he actually voted no. He was the only person that voted no. So, like, he is an actual Trump ally, too, that voted no to the measure because he was just like, oh, the president, no, to it. It's So
he voted no because he wants Trump to do it?
So he voted no because he said that it didn't have the precedent to release the files, that we were going above the DOJ, stuff like that. But the thing is that the files that we're releasing are the files that the DOJ has already passed and said, like, well, you guys can go ahead and have this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, personally, for me, fuck the DOJ. Just fucking release the whole damn lot. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like, the thing is that, like I said this on yesterday's podcast, is that when this stuff gets released, it's going to cause a historic uproar.
I would not be surprised if the FBI turns around and releases some like more shit about like aliens or whatever at the same time. Like, I don't know if we all remember that, but like
that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like literally, like our government admitted that aliens existed, and everyone was like, "Okay, cool," and then moved the fuck on.
While they were covering up one of the biggest fucking scandals ever. It was.
Yeah, like it was like literally right as that fucking scandal happened, the FBI was like, hey guys, aliens," and we were like, "Cool." And then went right back to the fucking scandal. Like, what? I think it was the laptop, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the fucking laptop. Like, that shit was funny as fuck. Like, we all were like, you know what? We already knew that shit. We already knew that was happening. I'm just glad that I personally get to talk about the fact that aliens exist now, and I don't have to worry about the legal repercussions.
Well, they always existed. They were just coming from Mexico
and China.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But no, it was one of the fucking hilarious things. Like, people were calling us crazy and all. Then, like, oh, guess what? We actually have the laptop. Now we're going to do shit with it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's an alien.
Yeah. Like, literally, it's like they just fucking threw up that guy from Ancient Aliens. Fucking aliens.
The funny thing is, too, is that they got the world governments on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, like all of the world governments simultaneously were like, aliens, guys, aliens. And nobody cared.
Mexico came out and just like, listen, we have a mummified alien, we think.
Yeah. Like, it was like... It was like that. It's like that scene from Jurassic Park where it's like, Dotson, we got Dotson here. Dotson, we got Dotson. See, nobody cares. like, like, that's exactly what that fucking was.
No, that you're right. That's exactly what it was. Is that like no one fucking cared? Like it was so nonchalant. Also because like in 2020 when they released the video with like the Air Force flying over, or maybe it was the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh yeah, there's a UFO there.
Yeah.
There, and we're all sitting there with like freaking 2 rolls of toilet paper, trying to get away with like a month for like a month. Go like, they just admitted aliens fucking exist.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's like, all right, cool, I guess. Like,
yeah, they're like, let's admit aliens exist. Well, we know that. You guys fucking told us in 2020.
Yeah, it's like we already know this shit, number one. And number two, even if we didn't know it, we already fucking knew it to begin with because of the fact that, like, we live in a vast universe. It is statistically impossible for us to be the only living things in the entirety of the universe.
That would be insane if we were.
Yeah. Like, with how vast the universe is and how old it is statistically impossible. Like, we've found other planets that have the exact same conditions that our planet has for life, and we have detected signatures from those planets that would indicate life, so it only makes sense.
The only question is, do these aliens laugh when we say 69?
They probably don't know what 69 is.
Oh, we gotta corrupt them. U.S. government, planet XYBC -134, whatever the fuck, has oil we could use.
Yeah, we just can't let the Marines get there because they will find a way to fuck it or die trying. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Hey, however, look, on the bright side, though, the Space Force will finally have a use. Ay. But no, so I find it interesting that there has been this sudden uprise in, like, fascist supporters. Like, yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but, like, I've noticed, like, the past, like, 8 to 9 months, like, this is a very, very recent rise. Like, this isn't like, it's like, oh, you know, they've always been there and they're just slowly rising and now the internet's focusing on them. No, like, there's been a very sudden and very, like, heavy uptick in the amount of, like, self-proclaimed fascists that are just out there now. And it's very, very interesting to see. Like, where do you think that comes from?
Unintelligence, basically. The thing is that from the ages of 16 to like 24, you're most impressionable.
Yeah.
But so if you're seeing all this shit, that's part of it, in all honesty, is like us not necessarily having the mental capacity to sit there and watch a video for more than 60 seconds.
Yeah, that came from like Vine and TikTok and Musical.ly.
Thank God Vine's coming back.
I did hear about that. D-Vine or something like that.
D-Vine. I hope we can upload videos more than 6 seconds.
Dude, I just hope I can still get into my old account.
You might be able to. I didn't have a smartphone when Vine was a thing, so.
I didn't have one either. So, like, I had some like other kids that I was friends with at the time, like one of them had a smartphone, and we made a Vine account called Cookie Crew, and I can't even tell you what the fuck is on there. I don't even remember.
Right.
Not that I would want to admit to it anyways, because it was probably fucking cringe as shit.
Yeah. Middle school, high school shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, like the only reason why I want to be able to get into that account so I can delete everything on it.
But download it and send it to me so I can use it for blackmail to have you hire me.
No, because like I have an old Instagram account that I like got locked out of a long ass fucking time ago that I can't fucking figure out how to get back into. That I made the mistake of showing my wife the other day, and there's so much fucking cringe shit on there that I instant regret.
All right. So Patriot asked us to rank them best to worst to the 2028 GOP nominee Vivek, DeSantis, and Vance.
Vivek, DeSantis, Vance, best to worst?
Sorry, worst to best.
Worst to best?
No, sorry. Best to worst. Yeah, best to worst.
Best to worst. Hot take, Vivek being best, Vance being second, and then DeSantis being worst.
This is where you and I are going to disagree. This is like, you guys are witnessing a momentous occasion. This is like the 5th time we've disagreed on something.
Clash of the Titans here.
Clash of the Titans. I'm going to go with Vance for number 1 for best. That's purely because 1, he's the vice president, and 2, literally coming from poverty and accomplishing the American dream. That's going to resonate with a lot of Americans.
Sure.
2, I'll probably go with Vivek. That's just because he's going to be in the headlines a lot more than DeSantis, because DeSantis is going to go ahead and be out.
Yeah, DeSantis is a shit fucking candidate anyways. Dude's a fucking grifter. Like, literally, as soon as he lost the fucking primary to Trump, as soon as he realized he was going to be going up against Trump in the fucking primaries, he just started fucking trashing the dude. And I was like, all right, cool, fuck you then. You know, I think Vivek is better than JD purely because of the fact that, like, while sure JD does fit like that all-American dream type deal, and like, yeah, he's a veteran and everything, ultimately at the end of the day, like, JD is still relatively out of touch. Vivek, on the other hand, is not going to fucking play the games that all of these other politicians are going to play. We saw this in his last bit. Like, he's not going to play these games. He's gonna follow kind of a similar route to what Trump did in his first term, where he's gonna straight up be like, absolutely not. Fuck you guys and fuck the dude next to you. Like, I'm not gonna play your stupid fucking games. Like, if Vivek had stayed in, I would have voted for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out. So, like, I was a DeSantis guy. I donated to his campaign and everything. You saw all my videos supporting him.
Yeah.
That was probably the second thing we disagreed on. But yeah. But no, the reason why I wanted DeSantis is that he was basically so similar to Trump, and he was younger. I liked what he did with Florida, basically turning a purple state into red.
Yeah, but DeSantis is a grifter now. Like, that's.
Oh no, now he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still better than Candace Owens.
Well, I mean, anybody. My dog would be better than Candace Owens.
That's not saying much. Your dog has a lovely personality.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, when it comes to being better than Candace Owens, the bar isn't even on the floor. You'd have to build like a 12-foot deep fucking trench, and then even still, you'd have to take a fucking sledgehammer and physically fucking hammer that fucking bar into the ground long ways in order to fucking even remotely have a level of measurement for what you have to beat to be better than Candace Owens.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure if you remember this. Technical difficulties again. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Sorry about that. I got a phone call.
I figured that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you remember this when you and I were the only ones, probably on the internet, calling Candace Owens a grifter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was in Steven's server, and everyone was telling us to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Steven and I had a huge argument about that. Fucking like literally like it was in a huge blow up fucking argument about that. Like, ooh, it was bad. It was bad. Because like I've always known that Candace was a grifter. Always known.
Yep, same.
Like I've always known that she was a problem. The thing is she just didn't have the spotlight enough for everyone else to see it. And it's like, for whatever reason, it took Charlie Kirk dying and her doing this shit that she's doing with his fucking death for everyone else to realize it.
Yeah, it took people so fucking long. Like, as soon as she signed with Daily Wire, and like I watched like the second episode of her podcast with them, I was like, no.
That's the other thing too, is like with the Daily Wire, dude. Daily Wire is not what it used to be.
It's not. It's not. Ben Shapiro isn't what he used to be either.
No.
Right. He's
fucking Ben Shapiro's a has-been. Like,
I wish he could get back to where he was.
yeah.
The thing is that he's not willing to go ahead and say the controversial things anymore.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like the things that he does say are just like he's drank the Kool-Aid. He's drank the Kool-Aid. And that's the problem. Is that all of these old, like, Charlie Kirk was the last like mainstream-ish conservative creator that hadn't drank the Kool-Aid, that was sticking to his roots and sticking to what he was. Like, I used to love listening to Steven Crowder. I used to love listening to Ben Shapiro. I used to love listening to all of them. And it was like, just, one day Steven Crowder went off the deep end after he got kicked from the Daily Wire. And so I stopped listening to him. And then, and then Ben Shapiro followed shortly after in terms of him going off the fucking deep end with the fucking, my wife's a gynecologist, and, even she agrees that, a woman's pussy being wet is indicative of like some sort of like disease. And it's like, dude, that's not what you think it means. That's not what you think it means, And it was, I think, like after that was when it kind of changed for him.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I was a Daily Wire subscriber for years, and like last year is when I bought the annual membership because of the sale. And ever since this change and all too, which was even more drastic this year than years past. Yeah. Cannot watch the guy.
I haven't subscribed to the Daily Wire literally since Steven Crowder left. Like for me, the main reason why I subscribed to the Daily Wire was because I really, really liked Steven Crowder before he became what he is now. Like, I was a huge fan of Steven Crowder. Loved the Change My Mind segments, all of that. Big fan of Mug Club. I was a subscriber to the Mug Club, all that stuff. And then when he got screwed over by the Daily Wire, I kind of, I left with him at that point. I was like, you know what? Not subscribing to the Daily Wire no more. And then he went off the deep end, and I was like, oh, not subscribing to the Mug Club no more.
Yeah, no. So, like, I even told Steven, like, I emailed Steven, I was like, hey, I got a show. You can literally mentor me.
Yeah.
Help me build this thing up. I didn't hear back from him because he was saying this was when he was looking for other podcasters.
Yeah.
And then the shit came out about him hitting his wife, and I was like, oh.
He never hit his wife. That wasn't a thing.
Well, physically or mentally abusing, I just can't.
So that's the thing, is like I did a lot of research into that one. So number one, he never put his hands on his wife. Number two, the video that surfaced of his argument with her out on the fucking porch was cut to fucking shit. It was literally a fucking argument because he was out working. She didn't want to cook dinner. He wanted dinner. And, they had an argument because he was like, no, you want to stay at home. You want to be a traditional wife. You need to stay at home and do traditional wife things. What you're doing right now is not that. And it was a stupid fucking petty argument that the internet took and blew the fuck up. Like, was he being immature about it? Yeah. Yeah, he was. But it was a stupid petty fucking argument. Like, my wife and I have petty fucking arguments all the time. Like, literally last night, we had a fucking petty argument about a shelf being cleared out and which shelf got cleared out. You know? But in no way, shape, or form does that mean that I abuse my wife. And in no way, shape, or form does that mean that my wife and I fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's the issue.
Yeah, just me. But like, my family has a history of abuse victims.
Yeah.
Like us being abused. So like, if
Yeah.
there's just something even relatively where like someone's like, I'm not fucking dealing with it. That's just how I am.
I come from the same background, but I think it's because I come from that background that I purposely choose to do more research to better understand the situation before I pass judgment.
Well, I mean, like you and I could probably also tell just by looking at people who.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that, I mean that's kind of where that goes.
But no, like you said, he fell off the deep end. Literally, like you said, all of these old heads did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great when Milo returned for 30 seconds.
I never liked Milo.
You never liked Milo, dude? I thought he was always fucking hilarious.
He was funny, but that was about as far as that went.
Well, I mean, like, I wanted him to return just so people are just like, oh, Charlie Kirk was a right-wing extremist. Here comes Milo.
Yeah, that I was looking forward to. Like, as soon as I saw Milo was saying he was coming back, and, you know, I saw Nick Fuentes talking about trying to take over TPUSA, I was like, fuck it. Why not? I want them to see what it is. I want them to see the monster that they've created.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is why I've said, like, what we need to do is, like, they got rid of Charlie Kirk. Like, we need to just stop propping up these idiots.
Yes.
And basically become the Hydra.
Well, like, that's the other thing, too, though. Like, that's the crazy part about it, too, is, like, you know, tying it back to fascism is, like, Charlie Kirk's death, perfect example of fascism.
Yep.
Perfect example.
That guy literally wrote anti-fascist stuff on the bullets. He had them engraved.
Yeah.
On the bullets. It's and the thing is that the most fascist thing you can do is take someone out for having an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like the all the people that were celebrating it, perfect example of the people that would fall for the propaganda of the state.
Yep.
Like these would be people that would absolutely fall for it, and then they would scream and cry when it becomes their turn. Because that's exactly how that would happen. You know, the state would start with the conservatives. They would start with the people who, you know, really do say, you know what, fuck this. You know, we're not going to allow this to happen. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, like, if push came to shove, it would be conservatives that would be at the front of the fucking line in order to fight. And so the state would start with them. And then it would move to the liberals, the people who are more likely to roll over. Because they don't know how to handle and they don't know how to deal with hardship. You know, I mean, the Liberal Party is comprised of a lot of people that either A, are rich, so therefore they've never seen any level of hardship before because they're either a fucking Nepo baby, or the last time they did see hardship was back when they were like fucking 18 and just got kicked out of their mom's house because their mom doesn't want them to stay in their house no more. You know? Or they're people that are so mentally and physically ill that, like, they just don't, and the world has just told them, like, oh, hey, it's okay, my sweet, precious child, we'll be here for you. And they just don't know how to fucking handle it.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. I mean, they're going to come for us first, like they always do.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is that we didn't even need the Charlie Kirk thing to figure that out.
Yeah.
We had COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking Tim Walz and his shit. Fucking Fauci. Like that was the thing that really got me about COVID specifically was the politicization of it. Like that was the thing that got me about COVID. Like if they hadn't have made it this weird political thing, I probably would have taken the vaccine. But because of the fact that it was like when the vaccine was being produced under Trump, you had Democrats saying, don't take the vaccine. I don't trust anything that's produced under Trump. I don't trust it. And then the election happened. And as soon as it was confirmed that Biden had won the election, Biden hadn't even gotten into office yet. And
I'm
then
taking the vaccine.
Yeah, you had Democrats saying that they're going to take the vaccine, and then you had Republicans saying don't. At that point, that's when it sent alarm bells off in my head. Hey, I probably shouldn't fucking take this.
Oh no, I was going to take it regardless. I still haven't taken it.
I probably would have taken it if they hadn't politicized it. Simply because of the fact that if they had not have politicized it, at that point I would have been more convinced that even though yes, it is being, given an emergency approval, they're not doing it for political gain. They're doing it actually for the genuine well-being of the American people. But because they chose to politicize it, at that point, that's what convinced me that no, this isn't the best people's interest at heart.
Yeah. And keep in mind, people, like, COVID was your trial run in fascism and communism. It was your trial run.
And this is in no means in no way am I saying that COVID also wasn't a serious issue, because it was. Like, I actually did lose family members to COVID. Now, granted, these were family members that had underlying health issues, but COVID was definitely something that was serious for sure. But the vaccine, number one, it didn't do what they said they were originally trying to say it would do. Same thing with the masks. The masks didn't do what they were trying to say it would do. And on top of that, they politicized it so much that at that point I lost all faith in it. Because if politicians are willing to flip just like that over a vaccine, they're immediately willing to flip their stances and completely swap sides on it. That tells me that this vaccine really isn't going to do anything that they say it's going to do. They're just doing it because they want to look good. Yep. Like, for me, it didn't even come down to whether or not they wanted to control the American people. For me, it just boiled down to the fact of, like, okay, this is all just for political grandstanding and brownie points with the American people. This has nothing to do with actually taking care of the American people at all. Because, I mean, by the time Biden took office, we were already under lockdowns and restrictions anyways. So, I mean, that was a partisan deal right there. Like, people on both sides were saying, go ahead and do it. It's just Trump took longer to do it. And so Democrats were complaining about the fact that it took Trump so long to do it.
Yeah, and then they gave all the credit to Biden for the vaccine when he was using the Trump rollout and the vaccine that was made under Trump.
Exactly. That they had not even 6 months before been saying that they weren't going to trust because it was made under Trump. Yeah. And, like, that's like the perfect example of, again, fascism. Like, that's how it starts. It starts with the flip-flopping of ideas. It starts with the over-politicization of things that shouldn't be political. Like, I'm sorry, but a vaccine against a virus that has the potentiality to kill you if you have any sort of underlying health conditions or immunocompromisations shouldn't be politicized. Like, that should not be a political deal. Preventing disease should not be political. But they made it political.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. Same thing with things like abortion. Abortion should not be a political stance.
No, none of your social stances really should be.
Yeah, but they are. And that's the problem. That is the problem, and that is how fascism starts. Fascism starts with the over-politicization of things that inherently should not be politicized. Thus, leading to one side or another eventually gaining the entirety of control, because one side's eventually going to win and convince everybody. And that's how it starts. Like, the first and foremost thing is going to be distancing politics from social ideology. Because, ultimately, in the end of the day, like, there are a lot of things in politics that do not affect the average American, that for whatever reason Americans seem to obsess over. Like, I'm sorry, but whether or not we fucking drone strike some fucking Hajis in Iran is not going to affect you. It's going to affect me, but it's not going to affect you. If I'm over there fucking dropping warheads on fucking foreheads in Iran because these motherfuckers don't want to submit to a nuclear fucking audit, that affects me because I'm the one doing it. It doesn't affect you, though. At the end of the day, you're still going to wake the fuck up and go to work. Like, things like that. Tax rate, depending upon how the tax is working, again, not really going to affect you. You still got to wake up in the morning, go to work. Still got to make a fucking paycheck. You know, that's why, you know, people, that's why, like, people, all the liberals were getting so pissed off when Biden won, because most Republicans didn't care. Like, they were like, all right, cool, he won. Time to prepare for 2028 or 2026. Because you know what? Even though the guy that I didn't want to win won, I still got to wake up in the morning and go to work. I still have to pay my bills this month. You know?
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I went to the protests and everything too in DC for it. That was also because I was basically unemployed too. So
yeah, I'll say I lived like literally 1 block away from the J6 event.
I was there.
Yeah, I was in DC at the time, and the crazy thing is too is like, so I was there. I literally lived. So I don't know if you heard about like the whole DC protest that happened where they tried to tear down the Lincoln statue in the park. The one where like there's like slaves that are reaching up to him as he's standing over them, reaching his hand down.
Yeah.
They had to erect a fucking cage around it in order to stop people, because there were people that were actively trying to take like crowbars to it to rip it down, because liberals just one day decided that that statue was racist and it had to go, despite the fact that it was a statue that was quite literally made by freed slaves in honor of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, showing Lincoln freeing them. Yeah.
Yeah, like they made those. Like that statue is hundreds of years old. And they just wanted to tear it down one day because they just randomly decided it was racist. And they had to build a fucking cage around it to protect it.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing with fascism. They like to go ahead and destroy the historical landmarks, and make sure you repeat history. That's why the liberals went ahead and wanted to go ahead and tear down all the Confederate statues and everything too. Yeah. Because God forbid we learn from our history and celebrate the history, good and bad.
Yeah. Like, and the crazy thing about it too is like, once again, like it also, like people lose their fucking minds during these things. Like I said, like I literally lived right there. Like I could step out onto my front porch at the time and literally look down the street and see the statue. Like I'm talking 400 feet from that statue is where I lived. And during those protests, during all that, I had my house broken into twice. Fascist, dude.
Yeah.
and that's the issue that America is running into. People are becoming more and more radicalized, and we're having less and less sensible conversations and ideas being passed around. And that is what opens the door to things like fascism. When people stop, Charlie Kirk, when people stop talking, that's when the violence starts.
Yep, that's exactly it. We got to have these difficult discussions still. Period. The only way that we go ahead and stop this shit, we have these difficult discussions, and we realize, hey, the government's the fucking problem because they're trying to divide us, because a divided class is easier to rule than a united one.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
Yep. And like that's the problem. That is ultimately the problem. I mean, for example, I had posted a TikTok video a while back where I was calling somebody out, and then they proceeded to post a video about me, saying that I was dumb and stupid and shit like that. They also compared me to a bull, which was really, really funny. Because they were like, and I know you think bulls are cool because they're big and strong, but they're inherently stupid. And so my response simply was, number one, they showed that they know nothing about politics by calling me stupid, but they also showed that they know nothing about agriculture or animals, because bulls are actually extremely fucking intelligent.
Yeah, they're one of the smartest animals.
Yeah. And her response, instead of again addressing because she didn't address any of my claims in the video she made about me, right? And again, instead of addressing my comment, she instead just chose to say that I have no integrity. So of course, my response was, me not having any integrity, despite the fact that every single video I have ever made, I have cited and shown sources for my claims. And the one time I made a video where I was wrong, as soon as I had all of the facts, I made a video apologizing, saying, hey, I was wrong in this video. Here's the actual correct information. Okay, I don't have any integrity.
Yep.
Sure. And like that's the problem. Is like it's people don't want to talk. People have short attention spans. And people are so set in their ideas and their beliefs and the way that they think and the way they view the world that when somebody comes around that challenges that idea, they don't want to accept it or acknowledge it. They just want to immediately attack. They want to pretend that the things that you said aren't true or that you never said them at all. You know, it's like that video that I made that I'm sure you saw about the guy that was saying that any veteran that is a Trump supporter should kill themselves.
Yep.
And, you know, then he went on that long-ass rant and be like, well, actually, I wanted to join the military, and I made that response video. He didn't address any of the claims that I made in that video. Instead, he made a video, tagged me in it, and then proceeded to private his account so I couldn't see it. And then left a whole bunch of, like, nonsensical comments on that video. So... you know, again, it comes down to just a lack of being like these people cannot fathom the idea that they could possibly be wrong about anything.
Yeah.
And they become so radicalized that violence is just normal and acceptable to them.
Yeah. Yeah. We literally just have to have the discussions, and that's how we stop fascism.
Yep.
You retarded fucks.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but like, if you're a fascist, you need to pick up a book. You need to turn off the Nick Fuentes fucking live streams. And you need to pick up a fucking history book.
Well, not even have to pick up a history book or any book at all. It's just maybe an essay. Read by a fourth grader.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah. Fucking go take an AP history class.
No, that's challenging too much. That's why I said an essay written by a fourth grader.
Yeah, well, no, because like an AP World History was a pretty simple class. Because I mean, the guy just told you.
This is also the people that like Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying though, right? It like if they're gonna fall for Nick Fuentes, the guy that just sits there and fucking talks to you, and they're gonna believe whatever he says. Go take an AP World History. Believe whatever the professor says. Like it's that simple. Because that AP World History professor will unequivocally tell you how bad fascism is and how every time fascism has ever been instituted, people fucking died. Like, just believe him. Believe the guy that actually has the degree and studies this shit. Not the fucking whack job that got fucking butt fucked by Requise last fucking weekend. While simultaneously saying that black people need to die.
While simultaneously saying that gay people need to die.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Like, let's be fucking for real for once in our goddamn lives.
Nick Fuentes is just a gay emo. That's all I'm saying.
Fucking across the tracks, not down the road.
I like men, and I think people that like men need to die. Therefore, I need to die. No one understands me.
It's not a phase, Mom.
Well, for me, it actually wasn't a phase. So,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, but I think we basically covered everything, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah. All right. So you can catch Colin at Air2Mud on every single social media platform, basically. That's Air2Mud. He is running for Congress. Hopefully soon. We will see. He will give us an update on that shortly. Anything else you want to shout out, Colin?
Yeah, actually. Get 25% off everything in store at gruntstyle.com using the promo code ColinGS. That's Charlie, Oscar, Lima, India, November, Golf, Sierra. All caps, one word, no spaces.
All right. Thank you for coming on, Colin. It's always a pleasure having you on. And pretty much, I'm pretty sure I'll probably talk to you later this week, or even probably 5 minutes after this.
Yep. All right.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Peace.
All right.